biohacking, performance, mastery, mindset, holistic health. This is a show about getting better every single day. I'm on a mission, guys, to help over 1 million people get healthy and lose weight. Why? Because when you lose weight and get healthy, you have higher self-esteem. You have more self-confidence. And that person goes out and crushes their goals and starts living the highest version of themselves, and then they have way more impact on the world. All right, I'm here with Juraj, Kocar, CEO of Somavedic. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Joel. It's pleasure. I'm really excited for the conversation.
Yeah, me too, man. This is a blessing. I have we've been trying to get together for almost 2 years now. I think since the beginning of the pandemic. We were both in San Francisco at the time, so I'm like, this is perfect. And I'm like, this will be great. We can meet in person, do the interview, and then this thing called the pandemic hit,
Yeah,
and I think it just
yeah,
separated a lot of us, and a lot of things happened. So this is great that we're finally connected now.
yeah, definitely.
So for people that don't know about Somavedic, I have actually, you can see in the background if you're watching on video, I have the green amber, which I don't think you guys make anymore. I think you guys have switched models, but I have this. How would you describe this? This like gemstone.
Well, that's the Medigreen
Yep.
Ultra. It's the bestseller, the most versatile, like all-in-one we have, and we've launched last year, uh, towards the end of last year, the successor of that. It's more shiny, different materials and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have this Somavedic, this beautiful like gemstone that is plugged in. It sits in my house, and supposedly now people that aren't biohackers, or they're not into this stuff, they're gonna say, Joel, that's just completely woo woo crazy. You're making this stuff up. But what the reason I have it is because it's known for EMF and Wi-Fi protection and structuring water and kind of rebalancing these negative or harmful EMFs. But before we get into that, I'm just curious, like, how did you even get started with Somavedic? How did you come across this technology?
Yes, yes. So, as you mentioned, I am the CEO, but I'm not the founder. I mean, I'm not the inventor. That's the best, the better expression. I'm not the inventor. The inventor is Ivan, a dear friend of mine, and we've met about 4 years ago. And the first Somavedic was created in April 1st, 2011. So we just recently had 11th year anniversary. Uh, but the way it all started was that Ivan was struggling with his health, different health problems, and lupus and organ failures and stuff like that. And the doctors were not able to help him. They just give him pills. He didn't want to accept that, so he started to study Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine and different healing properties of precious stones and minerals. And yeah, eventually he was able to heal himself, and it worked. So he started to help other people in his family and friends, and but he's not the doctor or anything like that. He's an IT guy, mathematician. But this is, the life taught him, it, like this just happened. So yes, so he was helping people with this. uh Throughout, during that time, he found out about the what is causing the various like illnesses and sickness. That there were two factors, like one was geopathic zones, and then it was the EMF.
Mm.
And this was more than 12 years ago when he was thinking about it and doing his own research. And as his experience and knowledge led him that he knew the what's the root cause and how to deal with it. he had the idea to put, whatever he learned into a device. And that was the first idea when basically the Somavedic was born. Of course, there's the usual R&D process like behind it, but yeah, this is in a nutshell how it came to be.
Very cool. All right. So maybe you can kind of explain, like just how it works. I mean, anybody looking at this, they're gonna see this beautiful gemstone behind me, but they're gonna say, okay, so how does that thing, me plugging it into a wall, do all these things that you're claiming, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, so inside of each Somavedic, there's we call it heart, and in the Somavedic heart there are various precious stones and minerals and precious metals and different types of energy amplifiers, and what all of them are doing is supporting and amplifying each other. So, and of course all of this comes together with the frequency therapy technology that we have in it, that is on top of that amplifying, the the qualities of the various precious stones and minerals that are inside. So it's a combination, of Eastern approach to health and wellness with the Western frequency therapy technology. So, and again, the principle behind the Somavedic is the controlled release of energy of these precious stones and minerals. So what the Somavedic is doing, it is creating this coherent field around it up to 100 feet radius, up, down, left, right, penetrating walls and floors, where our bodies have more energy and are supported to start the self-healing processes, because as body is what, like, who's doing the healing so yeah, that's in a nutshell what's the Somavedic.
Very cool. And then, I mean, I'm familiar a little bit with like crystals and precious stones. And like you said, I've met some healers along the way who have said, hey, like put this stone on your body and it's going to help. It's going to help your the wound healing and stuff. But the Somavedic, you're not necessarily doing that. You actually plug it in. And I think you guys actually recommend plugging it in. Everyone's so worried about Wi-Fi and dirty electricity, but you guys actually recommend. I think it actually increases the amplitude or the power of the Somavedic, right?
Yes, yes. So as the principle of Somavedic is based on the precious stones and minerals and their energies, it's working even when it's not plugged in. It has about 60% efficacy. And when it's plugged in, is in its full power, is the 100% as it's supposed to be. But it's working even when it's not plugged in. The other thing for to have it plugged in is that there are LEDs, and if some of the LEDs, usually three to five, when some of the LEDs go off, we know that there's some kind of problem. And I mean, you can see it visually, because if you would not plug it in, it would not light up. And like, how do you know it's working or not? So LEDs are one of the control mechanisms if the Somavedic is working properly. So if one of the LEDs goes off, we know there's some kind of problem, and yeah, the customer just sends it back, and we'll send him like a new device, and we give, yeah, for this like 5 years warranty.
Nice. All right. What the next question everyone's going to have on their mind is great. You're right. You mentioned some amazing thing, precious stones, precious metals. Okay, I can get behind that. But what does the science and research say about the Somavedic? And what do you guys have that you can actually quantify? Like, hey, this is making a difference.
Yes, so we do have, I would say, we have very interesting data. We have data from various labs from various countries showing the improved speed of cell regeneration. This study was done in Germany when they placed human cells in a shielded EMF shielded environment when there was no EMF. Then they like place it like normally on the table, in lab conditions where you have EMF, and then they next to the cells placed a Somavedic, and they were measuring the speed of cell regeneration, the speed of the actual cells, and they could literally see the difference between when the cells are in a non-EMF environment, when they are in an EMF environment, and when there's a Somavedic. So with the Somavedic, it was somewhere in the middle of non-EMF and the full EMF. So it was, you could easily see that the Somavedic is helping, the our cells to regenerate.
Mm.
So that's one of the study from Germany. Then we have a Czech study done here in Prague where uh, people that were suffering from, let's say, not let's say, from high blood pressure, uh, after 4 weeks, their blood pressure normalized. But what's more interesting is that those people that they were people that had low blood pressure, and this blood pressure went up, and it normalized as well. So it's the blood pressure, it's the sleep. We have not only data on the sleep from various questionnaires that were done in laboratory environment, how people felt, and they like 80% said like yes, the we just feel more rested, like the sleep was much better and everything. We have also like data from aura rings.
Hmm.
Deep sleep is increasing, HRV is increasing. So there's quite a wide spectrum of data that we have. So for those people that would be interested in that, and on the other side or other hand, we have like tons and tons of very very interesting like customer testimonials, where those are like genuine interest, like genuine stories of what people experience when they got the Somavedic. So we have something for both camps, I would say.
Yeah, that's amazing. When you were talking about sleep, I was just thinking. I wonder how many people with like Oura rings or bio straps, and if they've noticed. I've had it for so long now. It's hard for me to quantify it now because I'd have to like at this point take it out of my house for a week or a month, and then put it back in to see the difference. Um,
Yeah. For example, like about 2 months ago, I had a call with like a podcast with Jill Carnahan. She was one of the speakers at the Upgrade Labs conference, and she said, she's monitoring her sleep for months and months, and since she has the Ember at home,
mhm.
she said the deep sleep and HRV went significantly up the very first night, and stayed that long, stayed that high, like the whole time. So that, but yeah, that's just one of the examples.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm glad. So a couple of things you brought up. I'm wondering, you know, when two things, one when we're thinking about sleep, or like I have it right here in my office behind me, so it's really close. But if I want to take advantage of the Somavedic, um, do I need it in a certain range, or if I leave it like in my kitchen in the center of the house, is that pretty good to kind of the the distance, the radius? And then I'm also wondering because you just mentioned with Jill, she has the red one and I have a green one. Like maybe we could also talk about the various models and what they do differently. But yeah, so the first question just being about like the radius, does it matter
Yes.
for people?
Yes, that's a good question, and we get that often. So the ideal place for Somavedic is somewhere in the middle of the apartment. Living, it's usually living room or kitchen. So so you can place your water there as well, to structure it, and we can discuss that later. but as because the Somavedic has quite a big range, I mean the field, 100 feet, it's really enough to cover a whole apartment or even a whole home, like house. So and if you if you wouldn't be sure, if for your peace of mind, if someone would be hesitant, it's just too far, then we definitely recommend placing it somewhere closer to the bedroom. So the bedroom is the key part there, because it's the most precious time, when our bodies are regenerating.
Hmm.
So we want to place it a bit closer to the bedroom. So but usually, in general, the middle of the apartment is perfectly fine.
Okay, great. And then, yeah, like, I know you have various models, and I think the big thing is, in general, if you look at the Somavedic website, like the different stones are going to give you the magnitude of how far the radius is. But in like one of the things I'm thinking about, I know there's like that cobalt blue one, and then Jill, you said has the red one, and like they're actually different in terms of, I think, of like chakras and stuff that they're actually like opening. Can you just kind of talk about that, or maybe why someone would choose, some of the different models?
Yes, yes. So the so the main differentiation, there are like two factors. Uh, One is water structuring capabilities, and if they are strong enough to mitigate the 5G effects.
Mm,
So this would the two main things, most important things. So the one that you have is have both, and the ember, the one above it, it's called the ember, and Jill has the ember. Uh, that of course is also like it's about 4 times stronger than the green one,
wow.
and that one was designed, for corporate office spaces, when there's like lots of electronics and wi-fi's, or doctors clinics or hospitals, or like where you have really those technology and different things going on.
Hmm.
So for those places is the ember. uh the Vedic that we have now is the all-in-one, the most versatile unit we have, and that's very universal. Like you can place it in your home, in your office, in your like spa or yoga studio, or anywhere. And then below the Vedic, there's it's called Sky. It's like shiny, like silver. It has the 5G mitigation effects. I mean, it's strong enough, but it's not structuring the water.
Mm.
So of course, it's then the price is lower. It's cheaper. And then there are like a supplement. I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but supplementary models like the ruby and the
Yeah.
cobalt. Yeah. So yes, the ruby. Lots of women are attracted to the ruby, and they really. I mean, I was not able to tell the difference, but a lot of women can tell the difference when they have a Somavedic at home, whatever Somavedi they have, and then they add ruby on that, because it has lots of added like ruby in the crystal body. So and that has different effects on us, and it's it's it was like the when you read about the ruby and the properties, it's working with your chakras and energy systems, and the cobalt, the blue one, is more manly,
Hmm.
more, and it's more for when you would like to like calm down, and when you have really like stressful like environment, more for the psychology things. So yeah, that would be those two. Like, but the main Somavedics would be is the sky, the Vedic, and then the ember.
Got it. Very cool. And then you mentioned structured water. Let's talk about that just briefly. Why do we care? Why do we need to structure our water? I think most people would think, "Who cares, Joel? I don't. I drink my water. It comes out of the tap. Or
Yeah,
whatever. I filter it. I don't need to do anything more than that."
yeah, and I totally get it, because I was the same. Yeah, so but then you taste the structured water and you can really tell the difference. And it's not only in the taste, but why should we be drinking structured water is because it's the most natural state of water there is, most bioavailable state
Mm,
of water. You can find structured water in rivers, of course, but not anymore in, you know glass bottles, plastic bottles, tap water, or whatever. So, and what actually is structured water is, if you would freeze the water crystal under microscope, you would see a very nice shape, like a snowflake shape. It would be have like, yeah, nice geometric shape. If a water is not structured, it would be really chaotic. And one of the pioneers in this was Masaru Emoto, the Japanese scientist that brought this to mainstream, how emotions and words are affecting like the structure of the water. So so the same way how Somavedic is creating this coherent field around it, the same way it's working with the water, it's structuring the water. That means you just place a jug of water next to the Somavedic, and within 15-20 minutes it's structured, it's harmonized, it's structured, and then you just drink it. And because in our bodies, in our cells, there is only structured water, so it's the most, again, it's the most natural state, most bioavailable water. And I always say this example of a colleague of mine, when she started working with us, like almost 3 years ago. She said, I used to drink a gallon of water a day, be always thirsty, suffer from migraines and everything.
mm,
And since she started structuring water with Somavedic, she said, I'm drinking half of what I used to drink.
wow.
I'm not feeling thirsty anymore, and the migraines are gone. So this might be one of hydration is a very important part for every organ in your body. So this is why.
Amazing. Wow. What a cool testimonial. I wanted to ask you also about just geopathic zones because that's something that the Somavedic protects against and shields against. But I don't really understand that. I think a lot of the listeners probably understand 5G and some of the electromagnetic fields that are negative and some of the Wi-Fi and stuff. But why should we be concerned about geopathic zones yeah, why?
uh yes, so geopathic zones, they are known in the eastern world, in China, for like thousands of years. And they call it like dragon veins. It's a different than ley lines. That's something different, that's a positive. And like dragon veins and geopathic zones, that's a negative thing. And usually so geopathic zones, for example, when you have tectonic plates below the surface, so at the place where they like meet or touch each other, there you have this vibration. But what's even more common is geopathic zones from flowing rivers.
Mm,
So for example, if you have like a flowing river below your home, from the actual flow, there's a vibration. Sorry, there's a, the flow of the water is creating a vibration that is surfacing. And there are studies showing that people got sick, and nobody knew like why, what was going on. And the the thing that helped was moving the bed like few meters away, and that was basically it.
Hmm.
So when you are in this geopathic zone, and and there are like people called dowsers, they can find the water underground. They can also find the geopathic zones, and they can test it and measure your home, if for example in your bedroom, if there are geopathic zones. So, and what Somavedic is doing is mitigating these effects of the geopathic zone. So the geopathic zone is basically still there, but it's not and not affecting your body anymore.
Very cool. Okay, neat. Yeah, because I didn't know too much about that, and I know that's something that the Somavedic, touts on the website, talks about these being able to mitigate that. For me, it was just the structured water and the 5G and the EMF was what I was really excited about. But then now also the geopathic zone, so that's awesome. You guys also have some accessories on the website, like a pyramid that you can put on top of the Somavedic, and I guess what it does is it magnifies the power of it. How does that even work? I'm just curious.
Yes. So the pyramid itself is a very interesting shape. Well, not only shape, but what it is doing. Because, for example, when there are like different experiments that you can really look it up on YouTube and internet, that if you place, let's say, a fruit into a pyramid, uh, that with open walls, like pyramid with open walls, that you can just put something inside, that it would last fresh much much longer than like the usual fruit when you leave it on the table.
Wow.
So the pyramid has, and this was confirmed again and again. And one of the, what's, I'm not sure like how, like not many people know this, but there's a Czech guy that patented that he was sharpening razor blades in a pyramid, and only by placing the razor blade in the pyramid is what it was getting sharper and sharper. And he has a patent for this, and it's been proven over and over again. So so this is not like our invention. It's how the geometry and energies work. No one, well, not many people, and I don't know, like, can explain this. We just know that this is something that is going on. So the pyramid, of course, is, can emit energies, can like be like a sponge. So there are different, like functions of a pyramid. With the pyramids that we have now, there are the crystal ones. Uh, is basically, they are working as an amplification of the field of the Somavedic. It's the amplification is about like 30 to, yeah, around 30%.
Wow. That's huge. Okay. I gotta get me a pyramid then. I'm lacking. I'm slacking. I'm cool. I'm curious. Any exciting projects that you guys are working on right now?
Yeah, so currently we are launching a harmonized space webpage, which is basically a project aimed at uh, different, health and wellness centers and spas and clinics, but also office spaces. What we would like to do is create a supportive uh, environment for people that are in like in work. So, because there's a lots of technology in work in the office. So what we would like to do is, just create this actively harmonized space around them. Why we call it actively harmonized space? Because there are different ways how you can harmonize the space or make it look nice, which is of course affecting how you feel. So there's the air, there's the light, there are the colors, there's the furniture in terms of like chi and everything. And then but all of these are, let's say, like passive things. And with Somavedic, you have this active field that is working with your biology. So what we are like doing now is creating this actively harmonized spaces and actively harmonized space certification for companies that would like to incorporate this, uh, basically into their culture, to support their employees. So we are quite excited about this. And if someone's listening and is interested or would like to have that in their office space or whenever, then yeah, feel free to reach out.
That's great. I'm actually looking at possibly opening a gym out here in Idaho, so I might have to consult you and make sure I'm creating that harmony when that happens. That's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, awesome stuff. I was gonna jump into some lightning round questions, but before I do, I'm just curious. Is there like anything that I didn't ask you that you wish I had?
uh yes, there is one common question. It's sometimes there's a misunderstanding uh, about this, and it's I try to well, not try to, I'm mentioning it on every podcast, every interview. So what Somavedic is not doing is not blocking the EMF.
Oh, good. I'm glad you brought this up. Yep,
So
we were talking about this
yeah.
offline, so perfect.
Yes, so it's like the cell phone is still working, the Wi-Fi is still working. It wouldn't be, it was designed that, for doctors' offices and normal office. So we want the technology to work, but it's if you would take an EMF meter, it would show the same amounts like before and after. Of course, we like recommend the best way, well, best way. We always recommend people to lower the EMF exposure as much as possible. That means, like turning off the Wi-Fi during the night and not bringing your cell phone into your bedroom, or do it in flight mode, when you just need the alarm clock. Just ground yourself, like walk barefoot, like few seconds, like a day, like is enough. There's a don't use like Bluetooth headset or headphones. Like that's that's the worst invention in the last years. Like you're like zapping your brain from like through your head, like with the wireless
Yeah.
headphones. That's yeah, that's so all of these, wireless keyboards and mouses. So all of these things that we can do and we can influence, we definitely recommend doing that. Even if you have a Somavedic, or if you don't, this is always like great to do. It doesn't cost anything. uh and yeah, so this is like coming, like I just wanted to mention this, that Somavedic is not like we have really like extraordinary testimonials and feedbacks and everything. But Somavedic is not like a magic pill, that magic bullet, that you buy Somavedic and all of your problems or health problems or whatever are gone. It's one of the crucial parts of your life. Like you have the sleep, you have the diet, you have exercise, you have like air, like there are lots of components to it, and Somavedic is one of them. It needs to be really like a holistic. If you want a long lasting change, you have to approach it on a holistic level. So yes, so that would be That's what I wanted to mention and bring up.
Love that. Yeah, you guys are really just supporting. I think you kind of mentioned it earlier. You're supporting that the harmonizing fields that we actually need. You're supporting that coherence, and that's the big difference. You're supporting us with like the good energy, so that we can combat a lot of those free radicals. And that's why in the studies and the research, right, you saw higher cellular respiration when people were
Yeah,
in that environment with the Somavedic versus those that were just being bombarded by 5G and Wi-Fi.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
awesome. All right, you ready for some lightning round questions?
Well, let's see.
By the way, lightning round, you don't have to answer them really fast. Some of these probably aren't. I should probably rename the word lightning round. But, um, anyways,
Okay.
so I'm curious. If the old you could see the new you, what would the new you say?
Believe more in yourself, and be more structured.
Mm,
Yeah, focus more on processes, but everything else, I think it's
yeah,
fine.
nice. Focus on the process, not the outcome, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. What are some choices that you think you made that made you who you are today?
That's an interesting questions, but it's not. I would okay. So some people can say it's about choices. Some it's about like situations that happened in my life that shaped like who I am
Yeah,
today. If it's bad situation or good situation, it changed me. It changed the way. It's usually the bad. Let's say the bad
yeah.
ones that change you more. But if you learn from it, it's you consider it as a great thing on your progress and learning curve and everything. So I had some health problems as well, back in 2012, and the whole 2 year transformation and process taught me a lot about how to approach my life, how to think, like fitness, diet, and everything. So it in my case it were it was the life and different experiences that shaped me and made me who am I today, and I'm definitely grateful for all of them.
Love that, man. Yeah, I had a mentor say like to me like, "What have you ever learned from success?" And it's like nothing. Like, it's like oh, we all want success, but it's really the failures that teach us how to be better, how to be successful, right? We learn from those moments, not the
Yeah,
successful
yeah.
ones. It's kind of interesting. I'm curious, you guys are doing such amazing work in the health and wellness and biohacking world. Is there anybody who inspires you guys? Is there anybody that inspires you, or just anybody that you're following closely in the health and wellness world?
Yeah, well, I'm following, like Luke Story, Ben Greenfield, like the usual ones, Dave Asprey, Mercola, and like uh Eve, like what's the Health Freedom for Humanity, like yeah, lots of like these types of people that are like the your audience definitely know
Yeah,
about.
yeah, love that. Any books? I'm a big reader. Are there any books that you recommend that had a huge impact on your life that you would recommend people read?
Well, yes, I'm looking right now at the so it was the 15 commandments of conscious leadership.
Oh,
That's great. Then it was Bold by Peter Diamandis, and the last book that I finished was EMF by Mercola. And then there's really great book, talk. It's the King Warrior Magician Lover.
oh,
It's about archetypes, and it's very thin, but when I was reading it, it was one of the most transformational like books that I've read. Because when I was reading it, it's about uh, shadow aspects of our personalities and how it is when you are in your full power, and how it is in your like in the shadows and things like that. And when I was reading through it, I saw so many things from my childhood, how I was behaving, and what should be the, let's say, the right way to. It was very inspirational. So yeah, the King Warrior Magician Lover, that's really great book.
That's great. I haven't heard of that one. I've read a couple books about shadow work, so that's great. I got to add that to the list. Thank you. Last two questions and we'll wrap it up. What are, so you have any rituals or hacks that you do or practices that you do on a regular basis?
Rituals, grounding, I would say. I have a grounding mat. When I'm walking the dog, most of the time I'm barefoot throughout the whole wood. Even sometimes it hurts, but yeah, well. So, and then it's the, like intermittent fasting, and then meditations, like just closing eyes, or guided meditations. We know when I come back from work and I need to unplug, when you do something that you love, like it doesn't matter if you're in the office or at home, you keep thinking about it like nonstop. So some kind of like meditation, it's a great tool to disconnect for a while, and to be working, let's say, not working on something else, but relaxing. So these things, yeah, that I do on a regular basis.
Beautiful. Last but not least, Uri and the good folks of Somavedic, where can people find you?
Yes, so they can find us on somavedic.com webpage, and Instagram is somavedic underscore official. So that's our Instagram account, and they have there all the contact details and emails, and if somebody would like to reach out directly to me, it's hello at somavedic.com.
Boom. Uri, thanks for being on the show, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.